Hi, so I'm Serena Fortuna. I work in AFEO as a forestry officer in the RED Plus program. I'm also a member of the UN RED initiative, which I'm very proud of. Sure, yeah. RED Plus is actually a very old acronym by now, so we intend with that reducing emissions from deforestation and forest degradation. It's a process that started a while ago. It took 10 years to evolve, but for me RED Plus is an opportunity. It's an opportunity and it's a key asset that we can use for nature-based solution against climate change. For that, it's an opportunity for countries to actually, for developing countries and tropical forest countries, to join the fight against climate change, reducing the emissions from deforestation and forest degradation, and hopefully accessing those incentives and results-based payment that in the Framework Convention of Climate Change we've been talking about so much. Likely countries are getting to that level now, achieving those results. Let me stress that it's an opportunity, sincerely, for different stakeholders in the countries for capacity strengthening. That's what we've really been pushing for in the last few years, from governments to local communities and indigenous peoples. That's why I really would like to stress that. It's an opportunity for enhanced dialogue among different sectors, among different levels, also from local level up to national level. And from different sectors, especially because it's very often drivers of deforestation are outside the forest sector. I'll leave this for later. And it's an opportunity finally for indigenous people to carry on and progress with the work that they're doing in achieving the rights as key defenders of forests. Indigenous people are key for achieving the RED Plus process, goals. They are those people that are managing a vast amount of carbon because they're managing a vast amount of forests. They belong to forested landscape, and therefore they're the first key right holders in these actions. Without their contribution, without their engagement and active participation in RED Plus process, the process itself would fail. So they have knowledge of their territories. There are increasing evidences that whenever there are clear tenure rights and whenever areas are managed effectively by communities within also a very strong land and forest governance, those areas are well protected, those areas are suitable for sustainable forest management and therefore for reduced emissions. So there are key assets. They cannot do it all alone, they need to be doing an integrated approach, but they're key assets to arrive to that. For us also in AFEO and in UN RED, we are treating gender as a key asset to be addressed. You know that very often, well actually, the forests provide livelihoods and benefits for communities that live around and inside the forest. And very often the first beneficiaries of those assets are women, who are actually the ones who are also managing the families. Yet women are very often left still outside the sort of decision-making process for forest management, for example. Therefore, with these initiatives that we are working on, we are trying to push and to support women to enter more strongly and more effectively in the process of RED Plus, of conservation, of sustainable use of forest management, because they bring in additional assets that men can bring. So it's that combination between sort of a gendered skill, results-based work that we are trying to bring forward. So putting together the skills of men and women in achieving results for RED Plus. That's a very important question actually, because RED Plus was originally started as a process within forest sector itself, but in reality throughout the years it was realized that many of the drivers of deforestation are outside the forest sector. It's essential for forest sector to discuss, dialogue and work together with the agriculture sector, with private sector, and trying to have an approach, of a landscape approach really, when planning which kind of actions need to be done to reduce deforestation. This cannot be done in isolation. It needs to be done in dialogue and consultation with the agriculture sector, trying to understand how to progress in agriculture and in livelihoods of communities, in food security of communities, yet trying to protect the forest. And that's what through FAO and UN Red also we're really doing in several countries. In Latin America and Mexico is progressing in this way. Also in Myanmar there is some work that is going to be done in this way. So it's a very key point, integrated land use planning.